I haven't videotaped anything for a couple days. I've been busy doing other stuff, but this is one of the last projects I did. I drilled these holes and put these bungee cords, and that way it's got a little hook, and if I need something to be tighter on one side or the other, I can just slide it over there to hold something in place. And that way I don't have doors banging and opening while I'm driving down the road. Did the same thing with that. Let's see if you can see it. Tight quarters. But pretty cool setup. I mean, that'll work. So I got that done. I got it running. After I did the fuel pump, I put in the receiver hitch back in. Then I had to go down to the shop, to a transmission shop in town, and they had to put in a rear seal for it. I couldn't find the seal. Went to the auto parts stores all around. They said, well, order all three. There's 3 different ones there. So it went from anywhere from $14 to $44. Well, of course, it was the $44 one, and they didn't have it in stock. So I was going to have to come back to town. So I went to a place called Jack's Transmission, old guy that owns it. He had one in stock. He installed it for me with the price of the gasket or the seal, and the installation was 50 bucks. And just for me to buy it was $44 plus tax, so I got a heck of a deal there. Then I've been driving it around. The fuel pump works, the fuel gauge works, which it wasn't. That was the whole reason for changing the fuel pump in the first place. My cruise control is working. I changed the pad on the steering wheel and put a different one in there. It doesn't match the color of the truck, but it doesn't matter. But it won't go into overdrive. So this coming Monday, today's Saturday, this coming Monday, I'm going into the transmission place, and he's gonna try and troubleshoot what's wrong with my overdrive. It's a push button, and he told me to disconnect the push button, and that didn't work, so it's something internal. So he's gonna take care of that then. But right now, I just drilled a hole back here. There had a tiny, tiny little hole, but now I put in a bigger hole so I can run this cord through here, 12 gauge, 12 volt wire through, and that's gonna wrap up and sit behind here. So when I have my diesel heater, I'll have a power supply outside the van. So stay tuned for more. I got the license plate light reattached, and I've got the wire going through that rubber grommet for the diesel heater, so that's all in place. I need to zip tie it together so it doesn't roll down the road when I'm driving it for right now. And then I started filling in these corners back here. So that piece right there definitely needs to be painted. And then I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the upper part there. But I think I'll at least get these painted today and get them installed, and then try and figure out what I'm gonna do with this corner. We'll see. All right, let's do this. Okay, it's painted. And it's warm enough so it should dry in an hour or so, good enough to install. And once that's installed, then I'll figure out the upper part. Here's the piece that I cut for the top, and it needs to be about 1.25 inches longer. I need to follow that line, so I actually drew it out and I'm cutting it here. So it's gonna take a little flim-flammery to get it going, but I'm getting close. Got the 2 lower panels installed, and I'm figuring out the tops. I tell you what, this little attachment to my gun sure helps when you're trying to get in here. But that worked out really good. That's nice. Now all these crazy angles. Here we go. Okay, that is one corner. I still need to do this side on the passenger side, but that's really, really, really close. And I think I need to add a piece behind here to help it stay out. It's only really attached up here, and then I've got some bracing back here that goes against the wall. But I need to see if I can buy a yard of this material, and I'd like to do that with material and then maybe wrap a piece here. Worst case, I can get some tan material, but we'll see how that works out. And then I need to do this side here. Lots of little cuts and everything just to get it as close as possible, but I think it's all right. There's nothing really to attach it to, so I'm happy. Well, I went for it, and I got that corner done too, so that's a pretty good day. I might have enough material to go across the top, possibly not. But that's good. Now I need to see what kind of fabric I want to put on it, and that'll tighten up any of the little gaps. And I'm happy with that. So I think that's the end of this video. And tomorrow I'll be putting my van in the shop, and hopefully I'll have overdrive. So we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.